Michael, I love you in Signing Tony Raymond. How was Walt originally described to you?
Uh, I don't know. He's I don't remember how he was described to me, or kind of what we ended up doing with him. I know that he was passionate and he was down on his luck and he's kind of an underdog, but I think the game's never over until it's over, and I think Walt knows that. I think he's an athlete in his heart, and he's never done until that buzzer goes off. So um, he's just a he takes his lumps, but he's also not afraid to throw a swing, if he gets pushed into a corner.
I think I would watch a three-hander with you and Rob and Mira in the future. This was just it's like comedy greatness between the three of
Oh,
you.
thanks.
Um, but I feel like it must have been innate between the three of you when you guys just found this comedic moments.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. It was one of those things where we all just kind of slipped into it pretty well. Like we just kind of slipped into everybody's roles and kind of what everybody wanted to protect in a scene or whatever, where everybody was vulnerable in a scene. Um, yeah, it was just fun, and we were just having a good time and laughing and trying to find the funniest moments and milk those as much as we could. Yeah, it was really cool.
Oh, there's so many great moments between the three of you in this film. Is there one that really stands out for you that's maybe a favorite for you to film, or maybe one that was harder for you to keep it together while you were shooting? Maybe one where she's got that leg up on you.
Yeah, that was a fun one to do. Yeah, because I don't again with Mira, I don't even know. I think she and Glenn just kind of they like worked it out maybe on the day or the day before the day what that scene was going to kind of look like. Because she's got she's running that scene. So we're all kind of just bouncing off of her and seeing what she's going to do and we're going to react to that. And it was really just it was her show and she did such a great job with it. It was so fun. That was a fun one. And it was also just fun sitting around the chairs, hanging out with Mira and Rob and just talking shit and just figuring out what we were going to, what we wanted to do for the next scene. And they're just cool people and we had a good time.
Well, all of you have comedic abilities within your acting abilities. How precious was Glenn Owen, the director writer, when it came to dialogue? Were you able to improv at all?
Yeah, Glenn was cool about it. But the only way I think that stuff really works is if, at least for me, from my perspective, is you have to do it according to the script a couple times. You have to get, Glenn has beats in there and information points and exposition that has to be met so we can move the story forward. And once those things kind of get on camera and you kind of get those locked down, then you can kind of tinker around and play with the edges a little bit or throw in something nobody saw coming as a punchline. And Glenn was always cool with that, and I think that that's to Glenn's credit because, you know, the, like, um, no one's going to play Sandy again, Mira's part. So it's not like it's a play. It's not like this, they're going to do Signing Tony Raymond again and again and again and again. We're going to do this thing one time. And so you have to do it right the first time. And that kind of opens itself up to a different type of um a different way to read the scene and to read the moment. And Glenn was always about that, and he understood that. He was like, "Let's just get it right this the first time, and if that means Mira's gonna throw her leg over my shoulder, and I don't know, she was like pouring spice on herself at one point. It's crazy. Excuse me. Then that's what it is, and that's what the day is.
Talk about working with Marshawn Lynch. He's great as Eugene.
Yeah, Marshawn was great, and he's just he's such a dude, man. He's such a personality, and we were just, the kid in me was super pumped that he was going to be there, like the NFL fan in me. But then I was also like, okay, but I also wanted the movie to work and the scene to work, and we got there, and Marshawn, he and I were running lines, and I remember Glenn was like started to like kind of pencil some stuff out. And he was like, "Well, you don't really have to say that." And Marshawn was like, "No, I'm saying it. I'm going to say it like this." And Marshawn was he just you saw the competitor in him, the athlete in him. He he was not gonna he was not gonna say die on that script. And uh yeah, he was cool. He was a lot of fun. And he's just, you know, he's like an American hero.
Very iconic to share scenes on a football movie with a giant football player.
I know, for sure.
I think there's so much heart to this script as well. Was that what originally drew you to this?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it's kind of a it's kind of a cloaked as a sports movie, but it's really a movie about friendship and family and and kind of redemption and kind of realizing, you know, that maybe you spend a little too much time worrying about something that maybe you shouldn't have been worrying about. Maybe there's more important things that are going to keep some gas in your tank as far as existentially and spiritually. And I think that's kind of the goal of the movie. Maybe don't worry too much about the little stuff.
I think it's such a great film. From start to finish, there's heart, there's humor, and I think those are both things that are trademark Michael Mosley performances, that it has comedy to it, but it also has that great dramatic beats. Those are great dramatic beats to it as well. So I think that, Tony Raymond is such a great movie for you to be a part of. It was almost like it was built for you. Is that how you felt as well?
Oh, you're sweet. Thank you. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, sometimes there's movies that you just kind of feel like, oh, I kind of have a pitch for this. Sometimes you have to, you know, bend over backwards to try to wrap your head around why a person does what they do. But I kind of figured it out. I don't know if I figured it out, but I think I had a pitch for it about Walt. You know, I know what it, you know, I think we all know what it means to be a little overwhelmed and down on your luck and maybe behind the eight ball a little bit. And you kind of have to do some hocus pocus to try to get your life back on the rails. And, without hurting anybody along the way, without breaking any furniture, and I think we can all get that. I think, yeah. So it was just great. It was just fun to play this guy. And the first time I saw it in Austin, I kind of got a little emotional. I was like, oh, I guess it's always when you make a movie, you see so much, it's hard to see it just kind of as someone would see it for the first time. I see different take. It's just hard, but this thing cut together so well, and it was so sweet. And Glenn did such a great job with it. Yeah, really proud.
What's next for you? I know you've been busy probably working on Ballard again yet.
Ballard got picked up, and I think we're gonna start working on. I think so. They're in the writers' room now, but we shot a pilot for their rebooting Prison Break.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I think hopefully we'll start on that in a few months.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm looking forward to much more for you here in 2026.
Thanks, Jamie. Same to you.